Nayakan is a 1987 Indian Tamil language epic crime drama film written and directed by Mani Ratnam. It revolves around the gradual transformation of Velu Naicker, played by Kamal Haasan, and give electrifying performance. From one ordinary slum dweller to a highly respected and dreaded gangster. Nayakan is loosely based on the life of the Bombay underworld don Varadarajan Mudaliar. Nayakan is one of the all-time best films from Indian cinema. An union leader's son, Shaktivel or Velu, is caught by the police to find his whereabouts. They trick Velu into believing them as his well-wishers and release him. When Velu meets his father, the police track him and kill his father. Feeling betrayed, Velu stabs the police inspector and runs away to Bombay, where he found his lifelong friend Selva, and he is raised by Hussain, a kind-hearted smuggler living in the Dharavi slums. One day, when Hussain is ill, a young Velu decides to carry out the smuggling activity on behalf of Hussain. His demand for a bigger commission from the smugglers enrages them, and they involve Inspector Kelkar to arrest Hussain and kill him in jail. When they close the case as suicide, Velu is enraged, knowing the truth, and murders Inspector Kelkar. He later takes care of Kelkar's family, which consists of his wife and a mentally challenged son, Ajit. Kelkar's wife knew that her husband's immorality resulted in his death. In one interview to film critic Bardwaj Rangan, Mani Ratnam said, "The 2 years I studied in Bombay, 1975 to 77, Varadarajan Mudaliar was at his peak. People in the Matunga belt thought he was God. I used to wonder how anyone could treat a fellow human as God. I never understood why they would do this. It fascinated me. It was such a dramatic story, this man going from Tamil Nadu to Bombay and ruling the city. I outlined this thought to Kamal Haasan and he said, fine, that's it, it was done, decided." Velu meets Neela, played by debutant Sharanya, a schoolgirl forced into prostitution who has interest to pursue her education. Her innocence and courage impress Velu and he eventually marries her. They have two children, Surya and Charumathi. Velu's power and command gradually increases in Dharavi and eventually in Bombay underworld as he voices out in support of local people, which gains him huge popularity among the masses. Like the scene with the doctor neglecting a poorer patient. Velu steps in and makes sure that the poor man's life is as important as any other. His rival smugglers try to murder Velu in an attack, but Neela is killed instead. After avenging Neela's death, Velu sends his children to Madras to safeguard them. Kamal Haasan introduced Mani Ratnam to producer Srinivasan. Later, Srinivasan came to Ratnam's house and gave him an envelope which contained a cassette of the Hindi film Pagla Kahi Ka 1970. Ratnam, after watching the film, met Haasan and rejected the offer to remake the film. After Haasan asked him the kind of film he preferred to make, Ratnam suggested two stories. One was in the action genre similar to Dirty Harry 1971 and Beverly Hills Cop 1984. While the other was based on the life of the Bombay underworld don Varadarajan Mudaliar, the latter was finalized. Now he is known as Velu Naicker by everyone in Bombay. Surya and Charumathi returns to Bombay as adults after education. Confronting scene between Velu, Selva and Charumathi is excellent. Educated daughter reasoned with her father morally, ethically, and father tried to justify his actions and the whole life by injustice he faced by system and society. Accompanied by Ilaiyaraaja's score, and music is so powerful and emotional like heart-melting. Theme music Thenpandi Cheemayilae is repeated throughout the film. After this confrontation scene towards the end of the film, the question asked by Velu's grandson whether he is good or bad puts across the moral dilemma of the man in a nutshell. Surya follows Velu's footsteps, but when Surya is killed trying to flee the police in botched mission, Charumathi blames Velu for the deaths of Neela and Surya. She decides to leave Bombay, citing that she wants to get away from her father and his violent ways. Charumathi disowns her father and leaves his home. Few years pass by and a new ACP, Patil, is deputed in Bombay to eliminate gangsters. His first target is Velu. He collects all the evidence needed for the arrest of Velu. When Velu comes to meet Patil, he learns that Charumathi is married to him and they have a son. Later Patil too learns that his wife is Velu's daughter and suspects that she might help her father to flee from the police. According to Srinivasan, principal photography commenced in November 1986 and the first schedule lasted for 10 days, but the scenes shot during this period were scrapped because Haasan disliked them. prompting script rewrites and causing shooting to be delayed. The rewritten script had more violence and scenes taken from The Godfather 1972 and Once Upon a Time in America 1984. World-class cinematography by P.C. Sriram. We clearly see the impact of Once Upon a Time in America, particularly the long shots, establishing shots of Dharavi, the colonial architecture of Bombay, and the warm interiors of Nayakan's home. Hassan's walk along with his gang towards Builder's home. Many scenes inspired by The Godfather, like police officer seeking help from Velu Naicker, similar to Bonacera seeking help from Don Corleone. After Nila's death, the murders of Reddy brothers, similar to baptism scene. Surya's murder, similar to Sonny Corleone's murder. One scene in the film involves Velu and Selvam tying their illicit cargo to large bags of salt attached to rubber inner tubes, which they then dump into the sea. The cargo sinks from the weight of the salt, but when the salt dissolves, the cargo bobs to the surface, by which time they have passed the custom officers, similar to scene from Once Upon a Time in America. 15 days of shooting took place in the slum areas of Dharavi, using photographs taken there. The art director Thota Tharani created a set at Venus Studios in Madras. Thousands of junior artists were hired to recreate the atmosphere of the slum areas. Additionally, pigeons were brought for the same. Kamal Haasan did makeup for himself and helped other actors. He transformed himself as aging Don, and what he did was unimaginable. He added real weight to the character, not just the way he talks and walks, but even the way he behaves with people. Velu absconds and his allies are arrested. He decides to surrender to the police to save them from torture of the police. Through Charumathi, Velu sets up his surrender, partly shocked due to the lack of proper evidence against Velu, as none comes forward from the public as a witness against the crimes committed by him. Patil meets Kelkar's widow and requests to disclose the truth behind her husband's death in the court. She refuses and defends Velu's act, but Kelkar's son Ajit is shocked after learning the truth. Velu is produced in the court and is exonerated due to lack of valid and strong evidence. He is overcome with emotion when he meets his young grandson, Charumathi's son, Shaktivel. Velu steps out of the court amid a big cheer from his supporters. Until Ajit shoots him to avenge his father's death, Velu dies on the spot. Ratnam and Hassan met Mudaliar in person. When Ratnam asked Mudaliar how he would foresee his own death, Mudaliar replied that it would be in a public riot amidst much panic and tension. This inspired the film's climax. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and share this video, do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon.